Okay, everyone, here we are. Welcome to this next video lesson. Make sure you have paper and pencil out ready to copy down everything that I copied down here in this video lesson, right? So you are able to understand what we are doing. All right, so here we go. First thing we do is we identify the name of these notes, and these notes are called work word problems, right? So we're gonna deal with word problems that have to do with work, right? So there's a couple bullet points here, a couple antennas that we see, right? Some phone antennas here, right? So the first phone antenna that we see says one person's work plus a second person's work, right? So we're going to see how much work together, right? How working together, two people working together affects the overall work, right? So the second antenna says, how would working together affect the total time? So that's what we're going to see. We're going to see how working together affects the total time that it takes to do a certain type of work, right? And this is the formula that we're going to use. So to explain this, okay, one job takes a certain amount of time. One person takes a certain amount of time, plus another person takes another certain amount of time, equals to one job takes a certain amount of time as well. So as you can see here, T1 is the time taken by the first person. It's how long it takes one person to do the job. T2 is time taken by the second person, right? And T3 is time taken by both people. How long does it take both people to work together, right? In total. That's why you're adding the times here, right? So we're going to see what that looks like. So let us first go to the instructions here. The instructions here say, right, solve each question, okay? Round your answer to the nearest hundredth, okay? So we know we're going to round to the nearest hundred, right? Two places after the decimal point. So let us read the first question here. It says, working alone, right? It takes Heather 8 hours to mop a warehouse. So it takes Heather 8 hours to mop a warehouse. So Heather, it takes 8 hours, right? Heather does the work in 8 hours to mop a warehouse. Ashley can mop the same warehouse in 7 hours. So Ashley does it in 7 hours. How long would it take them if they worked together? So let us take a look at what that looks like. So Heather, first of all, right? Let me change this pen here. We go here. So Heather, it takes her to do one job. It takes her 8 hours. Just like that. Look at that. Ashley, it takes her to do one job. It takes her 7 hours. Right? Now, together, right? How long does one job take? We don't know. So that's the variable. So, as we remember, the formula says, right? First person plus second person equals total together. So, let's set this up. Right? Heather plus Ashley equals together, right? So Heather is 1/8 plus Ashley is 1/7. And together it takes them, we don't know how long it takes them. So this is what we need to figure out. So this is what we do, okay? These are the steps here. So as we see, we have different denominators here, 8, 7, and x. So what we're going to do, folks, is we're going to multiply all three of these together. 8 times 7 times x. Well, 8 times 7 is 56. 56 times x is 56x. Okay? So we get 56x. So let me do that on the side here. So we take 8 times 7 times x, and that gives us 56x. Let me go this way instead. Right? 56x. That's what that gives us right there. Let me move this up a little bit. Right? So this is the key number right here. This, everybody, is what we're going to multiply each fraction by. And that looks like this. Times 56x times 56x times 56x. So when we do that, we say 56x times 1 is 56x over 8 plus 56x times 1 is 56x over 7 equals 56x times 1 is 56x over x. Now, the reason we do that is we set it up so we do some cancellation here. 56 divided by 8, everybody, is 7. So I bring down x plus 56 divided by 7, everybody, is 8. And I bring down x. And look what cancels here. This x cancels with this x right here. Boom, just like that. And I bring down 56. Look at that. So now, check this out. Look what just happened. 7x plus 8x is 15x. And I have 56 here on this side. So the opposite of multiplying by 15 is dividing by 15. So I get x is equal to, well, let's see. What's 56 times 15? Let's use our calculator. 56 divided by 15 gives us 3.733. So we get 3.733. Now remember, the instruction said round to the nearest hundredth. Round to the nearest hundredth. The hundredth place here is 3. So this neighbor 3 is going to tell this 3 what to do. And since this 3 here is less than 5, then that means that this 3 is going to stay the same. So our final solution is 3.73 what? Hours. So our final statement, because this is a word problem, you must give a final statement. Heather and Ashley, you would say Heather and Ashley would take 3.73 hours to, is it mopping? Yes, to mop the same warehouse. There you go. Look at that. This is your final solution. This is what I want to see, kiddos. That is your final solution, because this is a word problem. This is not just an answer, right? We need to see a final statement. All right? All right. Let's do another. Let's do one more here. Let's see here what we have. So, let's see. Working alone, it takes Nicole 10.4 hours to pick 40 bushels of apples. Okay? So, let's see. Working alone. So, Nicole takes 10.4 hours to pick 40 bushels of apples. Matt can pick the same amount in 8.5 hours. So Matt can do it in 8.5 hours. Find how long it would take them if they work together. If they work together, right? So we know Nicole, it takes her to do one job 10.4 hours. Matt, it takes him to do one job 8.5 hours. And together, right, we don't know how long it would take, right? So we follow the formula, right? Nicole takes her, so it's Nicole plus Matt is equal to how long would it take together? So Nicole, it takes her 10.4 hours, plus Matt, it takes him 8.5 hours. Together, we don't know how long it takes them. So we do the same steps, kiddos. We're going to multiply 10.4 times 8.5 times x. So let us use our calculator. 10.4 times 8.5. 10.4 times 8.5 is 88.4. So we get 88.4x. Remember, we're also multiplying x. So this is what we're going to multiply to each fraction times 88.4x times 88.4x. So we get 88.4x over 10.4 plus 88.4x over 8.5 equals 88.4x over x, right? So we're going to do this first. 10.4 divided 88.4 divided by 10.4. So 88.4 divided by 10.4 gives us 8.5. 8.5, and we bring down the x. 88.4 divided by 8.5, right? 88.4 divided by 8.5 is equal to 10.4. 10.4, and this x comes down just like this x came down. And here, what cancels is the x's. So just 88.4 comes down, right? And here, I've created an equation, and we know that these are like terms. So 8.5 times 10.4. So 8.5 plus 10.4 is equal to 18.9, kiddos. 18.9x, I bring down my 88.4. The opposite of multiplying by 18.9 is dividing by 18.9. And we get x is equal to 88.4 divided by 18.9 divided by 18.9 is 4.677. 4.677. We are rounding to the nearest hundredth place, which is the 7. So this 7 is going to tell the hundredth place what to do. And since it's 5 or bigger, that means that the 7 must go up to an 8. So we get 4.68. Look at that. 4.68 hours. So Nicole and Matt, right? It takes Nicole and Matt 4.68 hours to work together picking apples. And that is my final solution right there. Okay. So these are our two examples, and this is what your work is gonna look like. All right. So make sure you took good notes. Make sure you rewind if necessary. Thank you guys for being here.